let's start wrapping up this conversation, and I'm going to begin with you, Geeta. From Kazan to Tianjin, how much have we traveled?
Oh, a lot in terms of incremental steps. Yes, they have been taken, but it cannot be business as usual. India has to tread carefully. We'll wait for what the Foreign Secretary has to say in terms of the outcome of this meeting. It is not going to be a spectacular announcement that we should be expecting. What we should expect is how the two countries are going to move forward from here. There are a lot of regional and global issues right now that the two countries also have to, and India and China both are stakeholders, have to account for and take into account. So in keeping all that in mind, I suppose we'll see a very balanced statement coming from both the sides on forward movement in ties.
Okay, Gaurav is back with us from Tianjin. Gaurav, when should we be expecting that press briefing by the Foreign Secretary?
So it's 9 p.m. local time here in China. So it's late night because when all the engagements of the day are over. So right now it's the first bilateral that's over and perhaps the most important for the day. But there are several others that are in the works, in the pipeline. And then when the day is over, then the government will have this press briefing where we will be given details of what transpired. But so hopefully soon, through sources, we should have some more information about what transpired and which direction is this relationship moving forward in. But all indications are, since the entire focus this time is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization multilateral visit, India's big push is also multilateral here. So when it comes to India-China bilaterals, it's taking stock of what the relationship has been so far and moving, in case it's satisfactory, that is moving forward in the same direction. Ensure peace and tranquility at the borders, ease up on trade, get more access to each other's markets, and have more people to people. As far as, I think it was Professor Mohan Kumar, Dr. Mohan Kumar or Professor Jacob, who were mentioning as far as cultural relations are concerned, yes, China has been pushing quite a bit on cultural ties and people to people and civilizational ties between India and China. And they have showcased a lot of what they are learning about Indian culture, Indian art, Indian dance form, Indian music form, classical Indian music. They have their narrative. India has our narrative. So it's not as if the Chinese are able to push through their narrative and India's, just accepting everything that comes from China. There's a very strong pushback from the Indian side too on the Indian narrative.
That's right. Ambassador Mohan Kumar, the question that I asked Geeta, and I want you to answer that as well. Of course, we'll get more details of what happened in that bilateral meeting from the press briefing. But in terms of the opening comment, how much do you think the distance the two nations have traveled in the backdrop of the global development and the geopolitical situation from Kazan to Tianjin?
So as I said, I think there is a geopolitical window here for both countries, frankly. That is both, I would say, India and China. And what we do in that window is really up to us in terms of whether India can, try to engage China. And whether China can really extend an olive branch to India is, I think, the main point at issue. And I'm not sure so far from the comments that I heard as to whether I can interpret this as a major paradigm shift in the Chinese position. Perhaps it's unrealistic to expect China to change its positions now. We will just have to wait it out.
Okay, so you will wait it out because China may not change its position outrightly. We are yet to hear what was the opening comment of Xi Jinping. Professor Jacob.
So I think we should, go into this with our eyes wide open. Things don't change overnight. Questions, this is a major meeting after 7 years. We don't know when the next meeting will be. And so what we have to see is what happens now as a follow-up. Will all the points that we've agreed on actually be implemented? I think there is, certainly there is a case to be made to make use of a geopolitical moment. This entire meeting is being, put up against the backdrop of the Trump tariffs. But the meeting was agreed on much, much earlier. The India-China relationship has a dynamic of its own, independent of the United States. So I think we have to wait and watch. We might have to ask ourselves the question whether we could have held out for more. I mean, we talk about strategic patience all the time. Did we jump the gun? Did we hurry up things? Are we getting the best deal out? These are all questions I think that will only be answered in the days to come.
Okay. Okay, a piece of breaking news coming in now as to what Xi Jinping told Prime Minister Modi. Um, after Prime Minister Modi sent that message of Vishwas Samman and some Vedanshilta, which is sensitivity, President Xi Jinping said that he is happy to be in Tianjin. He's welcoming Prime Minister Modi to Tianjin and he's happy to see him. It is a great pleasure to meet you again, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, I welcome you to China for the SCO Summit. Last year, we had a successful meeting in Kazan. Those are the words of Xi Jinping. Yes, Gaurav, give us the details.
So this is, the information I was giving you about. The entire focus of the bilateral also remains, since it's happening in the overview of a multilateral. China's focus is also a multilateral visit in which India, an important part of the SCO, is here. India's focus is also in the SCO, and the two are meeting and sharing notes. They're comparing notes. The big thaw that we saw in Kazan, that process perhaps being taken forward, but no major declaration is what sources are were telling India today throughout, that do not expect a very massive, breakthrough to happen in like Kazan here in Tianjin. The Tianjin effort is the SCO effort. Happy to see you meeting SCO member states, taking this relationship forward, bigger role for Global South. China talks of a multipolar world, but China does not talk of a multipolar Asia. And India's entire focus is multipolar world, multipolar Asia, two giants coexisting together. China believes in one giant, multipolar world, but one giant in Asia. So that's the narrative that India is gradually trying to change. The narrative that India is also gradually trying to change with the United States of America. In all of that, the effort is in this churn. India is trying to see what best can emerge for India during this relationship and this complex thing. The headline point, of course, came out of the visit to Japan. With China, it's more of continuity, ensuring peace and tranquility at the borders.
And the point here is that concrete steps can be taken. Can that be taken? India, China proposing to bridge trade deficits and opening up perhaps new market access within the SCO framework. If the focus is multilateralism and multipolarity of the world, that is China's view, but not multipolar Asia, then how will that be juxtaposed there, Gaurav?
That's the complex part. India is seeking more access for Indian goods to Chinese markets. What has happened so far, ever since tensions between India and China escalated, China stopped the supplies of fertilizers, for example. Now that impacts India adversely. It stopped the supply of the tunnel digging machine, the boring machines that India that required. That created a problem. So when there was a thaw, what started was, once again, you get your fertilizers, you get those chemicals, you get the tunnel digging machines, but the legacy problems, they remain in, as legacy problems. India's efforts is, we solve the legacy problems, you have greater people-to-people cooperation, you have direct access, more visas. Will it include journalists? We still do not know. More people-to-people cooperation, but will India get more access to Chinese markets? That problem still remains. The trade deficit of $100 billion, that still remains. How will that get addressed? Still remains work in progress, as sources in the government tell India today.